I want you to look at these stories. If you're a gig economy worker, this is the most updated side hustle news for December 2025, or really whenever you're watching this video. This is really important. It doesn't matter when you're watching this. Now, this is a part of our free newsletter. You can sign up with it, sign up for the newsletter using this link below. Now, here's the thing. This covers a lot of different apps and niches, and I want you to take a look here. Number one, you can see here this Instacart story, and yes, including a story today about a new robot delivery option on one of these major gig apps. But how about your earnings, right? Your earnings are one of the most important things. I mean, it is the most important thing as a gig worker. Now, this is the first time you and I are meeting. My name is Mike. I'm coming to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I started my side hustle on all these gig economy platforms 10 years ago. So I know how important pay is for you. Instacart is challenging, actually issued a lawsuit in New York City for new earnings regulations. Now, I know, like, hey, maybe you're not in New York City, but start to think about, well, if something like this just grows wider, more states, more cities, more coverage, would I be for or against something like this? So Instacart said, hey, we took necessary steps of filing a legal challenge in New York City's new grocery delivery law for app-based delivery workers. Have you heard about this? You know, maybe let me know in the live chat or the comment section where you're watching from. Do you even do Instacart? Do you Shipt? Do you like any of these grocery shopping platforms? Now, they say here, to be clear, we're not opposed to a minimum pay standard for grocery delivery workers. What does that sound like? A minimum pay standard. That sounds like Proposition 22, called Prop 22 in California. So, I mean, let me know if you're, watching or working in California. Will those workers get minimum pay? It's, I believe, 30% of minimum wage plus a stipend for mileage. Now, New York City does have some regulations already. Now, let's continue though. In fact, we've long supported a compensation model that reflects the realities of flexible app-based work and empowers thousands of New Yorkers to earn supplemental income on their terms. It says the problem, though, is that, again, this is a new law in New York City that Instacart is challenging, is that it applies a rigid utilization formula that would require platforms to start paying workers the moment they log in and browse the app, even when they're not actively shopping or delivering. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Can you imagine you're earning some pay when you're browsing the app and you're not even actively shopping or delivering? So, I mean, if you don't know, Instacart, you go online, it shows a map of your marketplace. It shows surrounding grocery stores and just opportunities, right? I mean, Instacart, I shop for groceries and whatever convenience stuff, and then I deliver it. So, can you imagine getting paid for just browsing the app? Now, they say Instacart, again, as a result, Instacart would be forced to introduce advanced scheduling and restrict how many shoppers can be online at any time, wiping out the flexibility shoppers consistently tell us they value. And I thought this was fascinating. They said that this law could eliminate earnings opportunities for as many as 40% of Instacart shoppers in New York City. Now, this is directly from Instacart's blog. If you want to read it, I can leave links in the show notes down below. So in short, new regulations coming across the board for New York City, Instacart, and subsequently, I would imagine, Shipt, grocery shopping platforms, pay what? Minimums or something like that. There's already pay minimums in New York City California and even other states and marketplaces there. Very interesting that that wouldn't quite work. I mean, again, we'd have to go into that a little bit more here to get some details on that. But I want to show you our next story. Again, this is part of our free newsletter. I send it to you every month if you want to sign up. drivermike.com/newsletter. Staying on Instacart here. And, you know, I've done Instacart. I've done Shipt. I mean, you can let me know if you've done any of this. Nana here does both Shipt and Walmart Spark. There's a combo. Let's not forget about Walmart Spark, where you can also shop for groceries and just stuff in Walmart. So if you prefer to shop, Walmart Spark as well. We got some new Spark content coming very soon here. Now, no one talks about Instacart in Colorado. Thanks for being here, Cobra. It's not a huge gig app, but it's a big platform. Instacart is nationwide. It's a huge platform, but you're right. Not nearly as many. We can call it 1 million-ish shoppers, maybe. The last numbers that I saw, maybe from 3 years ago, said 600,000, 700,000. So maybe, okay, now going into 2026, maybe Instacart has, well, right here, 1 million shoppers versus Uber and DoorDash have 8 million. Now, again, there's measures of activity and this and that. But also wanted to let you know that Instacart's, okay, a little incentive here. They had a Shopper Appreciation Week. Just ended December 1st through 5th of 2025. So what does that even matter, right? Like, well, I'm shopping on Instacart. Like, do they really care? Okay, they did daily giveaways. They did gear, a North Face backpack. That's kind of nice. Portable power banks. Savings. Okay, a lot of these platforms have savings, yes, from insurance companies, car care companies, what have you. A special holiday surprise. I mean, this was probably the biggest takeaway. To spread a little extra cheer, 25,000 shoppers received a surprise Starbucks card, offering them a warm cup of coffee or tea as a thank you for all they do. I mean, is this a thing or not? Like I said, there's at least 600,000, maybe 1 million Instacart shoppers. 25,000 received a little incentive. It's probably like $10. I don't know. Let me know if you've received a Starbucks card from Instacart here. But 25,000, I mean, they do what they can. And this is part of, again, Instacart's Appreciation Week. Not a big platform, you know? It's not, but they're doing something to acknowledge their shoppers. I mean, that's great and all, but it comes down to, is it the best side hustle for you, right? Now, I appreciate you being here again. My name is Mike. All I do is help you make money in different side hustles. If you can, drop a like on this video. I like to give you a little bit more detail on the news from our newsletter. Now, there is a platform that actually a couple of months ago is piloting robot delivery. Okay, well, we'll think about it. So what platforms have done robot delivery already? Well, Uber Eats has done robot delivery, sidewalk robots. I mean, let me know in the comments of the live chat if you've seen those little sidewalk robots. So Uber Eats has already done it. Well, DoorDash, they've already done it, and they've expanded their partnerships. They have new partnerships, Serve Robotics. They have Coco Robotics. Both are sidewalk robot partners. So they've done that, DoorDash. And then DoorDash is doing their own internal delivery robot as well. So who does that leave? It leaves Grubhub. Grubhub just a couple of months ago in October is joining the delivery space with robot delivery. Now, this is a pilot in New Jersey. So if you're in New Jersey, you might have started to see this already. Now, this is a partnership with AvRide or AV Ride for these delivery sidewalk robots. Now, AvRide has also partnered with Uber. So they're one of the go-to platforms here for these gig companies. So what is this going to mean for you if you're the gig worker and you're seeing these, well, Wonder robots? Wonder is now the parent company of Grubhub. So it used to be owned by European Just Eats Takeaway. Now it was acquired by, I believe, US-based Wonder that now owns Grubhub. It's the latest step forward for autonomous food delivery, which has recently evolved from a speculative technology into a fast-growing and competitive sector. Proponents say robots can make delivery faster, less costly, and more environmentally friendly. Now, the only thing that I'm thinking about, Grubhub, you can see here, already has some experience delivering on college campuses. They say over the past year, 24 and 25, and completed more than 100,000 deliveries at college campuses. And that is their largest robot delivery program with a fleet of 120 robots. We think about the Uber Eats, the DoorDash sidewalk robots, and now we see Grubhub. The big question is, okay, well, is this going to come to my marketplace? And what is it going to do to my order volume, my choice, my selection, my payouts, ultimately? So DoorDash is piloting their internal DoorDash Dot robots right now in Arizona. That is their internal robot that is already taking deliveries right now. And you can see an image of it right here. So this robot is, again, right now in Arizona. Uber Eats has been using their robot. And now we see another partnership here with AvRide in New Jersey. I mean, let me know in the live chat in the comment section how bullish or bearish you are on this, because I'm thinking it's going to expand to more marketplaces. But how rapid is it going to be? How big is that fleet going to be? And then is that expansion something in 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years plus? Maybe answer that. And when I say expansion, okay, well, is it 10% of offers? Is it going to be 25% of your offers? That's the big concern. Okay, it's going to scale, but how fast? Let's move on. Next story from Amazon Flex. So Amazon Flex, I'm going to go to a warehouse or Whole Foods on Amazon Fresh. So Amazon Fresh grocery, Amazon.com warehouse, and I pick up packages or groceries, whatever, and then I deliver. So they announced a Flex store to keep you safe when delivering. They just have accessories and whatnot. So you can find this new store in your Amazon Flex app. Go into rewards, and then you can register your email and password for this new Flex product store. Now, you can see if they have limited items, if the items are the one listed on the right here, I mean, there's nothing inherently unique about it. So if you're looking for items to help you with any gig platform, I mean, we have an affiliate storefront via Amazon. If you want to check that out, I'll leave that link down below. Ticket accessories for really any side hustle, rideshare delivery, laundry washing, social media, etc. And I've done this stuff for 10 years, so I trust those accessories. Not a huge deal. I mean, I would like to see something a little bit more unique some kind of, well, they've advertised before, Amazon light up vests. I would like their light up vest to be on sale here. I was not able to find this in my rewards tab on Amazon Flex. So I went in there, and again, you tap on rewards and it should let you register. I couldn't find it. So I would like a vest. I would like, I don't know. Eventually their AI delivery glasses, if that's going to be released to Flex drivers, you could put that on here, maybe at a discounted rate, for your Flex drivers or what have you. Staying on Flex here, Amazon is reactivating their Thank My Driver campaign. So the Thank My Driver campaign is going on right now, started in 2022. If you're a Flex driver, you can earn some extra money. Finally something that's dealing with extra money, right? So the customer, when you make a delivery, they're just going to use either their 3 types right here of devices, the delivery portal on the Amazon website, mobile app, or their Alexa device. And they'll say, "Thank my driver." In that case, it says the Alexa enabled device will signal to the individual who completed the customer's most recent delivery, receiving $5. So again, they've done this since 2022. I remember when this came out. I've been doing gig work since 2015. Hopefully I can help you out looking at different apps and niches. If you're on iOS, download our new gig tool, ShiftMate, at shiftmateapp.com. You can learn more. That'll help you discover, compare, and of course, track your own gig earnings and more. Go check it out. You can download it for free. So the customer is going to prompt, "Thank my driver." Now it says, this is kind of funny. It says the individual who completed the customer's most recent delivery. The only reason it says that is because imagine they say, "Thank my driver." Excuse the background noise. City trains, of course. But imagine they say, "Thank my driver," and they're getting multiple deliveries, right? So only the most recent courier is going to get that $5. So imagine you delivered on a Monday, but then the customer, because people like ordering stuff, they also got a delivery on Tuesday. So if they thank their driver on Tuesday, you're not going to get it. It's only the most recent courier. So in that example, on Tuesday, that courier will get the bonus. Now, it's a fine thing. My only thing with this Thank My Driver, it's fine. It goes so fast. What do I mean by that? That they're only doing 2 million thank yous. Okay. After the first 2 million thank yous are reached, it says the 200 most thanked Amazon Flex delivery partners each day will be eligible to receive a $100 reward. Again, that's right here. So point number 1, they stop it after 2 million thank yous, which is still, it's a lot of money. It's 2 million thank yous times $5. So it's a lot of money that they're putting into this. But Amazon does so many orders that it goes quite quickly, that payout incentive. And I've seen in prior years that this gets satisfied in days. This was just announced 3 days ago. And I'll follow this for you. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets announced on their blog. This is pulled from their blog. If it gets satisfied in another day or two. So, which means you would have to be a Flex driver in those 3 or 4 days, and you might get 1 to 5 thank yous. I don't know. It depends on how many, routes you're taking and stuff like that. Moving on to our next story. Uber. Now, this is really interesting. Hang with me for this. Don't leave this video yet. Drop a like if you can. Consider subscribing here. They expanded women preferences to now 26 cities. Now, what is this? Why does it matter? So for riders, as you can see here, they can request a female driver. And you can see the workflow here: request on demand or reserve in advance, and then you set a preference. So regardless if they're using on demand or advance, they can have a preference for a women driver if they're a woman rider. Now, for drivers, conversely, we'll look right here, kind of the same thing. So women drivers can simply toggle on the women rider preference in their app settings to start receiving trip requests from women riders. And it says right here, we'll also be making the preference available to women drivers nationwide soon. And of course, this is a safety initiative, a comfort initiative, but it's not without its hiccups. Let me know if you have this women rider preference if you're a female driver on Uber, and Lyft has had stuff like this for years as well. Now, hiccups, I say like, hey, there's been opposing views on this, possibly even some collective legal actions against, male drivers for preferences like this, because that's filtering out work opportunities. Male drivers aren't going to like that. So you can kind of let me know what side of the fence you're on there. I think we're all for safety. We're all for comfort, especially let's say, women driver and rider preferences at night. And I've done, thousands of trips on Uber and Lyft. I've primarily did, overnights or whatever you want to call it, 10 p.m. until 4 a.m. in my early years of rideshare driving. So I understand, when there's a single female in the passenger seat, how important safety is. But, it's not without, male drivers saying, hey, like this is literally going to skim off, it's going to some percent of my rides. And subsequently my choice, my earnings, my order volume, my ride volume. So it's an interesting line to walk there, because safety is always number one on any niche: delivery, rideshare, shopping, anything, right? Because I've done those rides at night. Trust me, I've done those rides. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty decently in shape. I'm like big enough, I guess. And I feel, safe enough. And I just did a rideshare shift a couple of months ago, whatever, for Halloween. And I plan to get out there again in just a couple of weeks for New Year's Eve. And even myself, and I'm here in Pittsburgh. I grew up in the Pittsburgh area. Like, I'm very comfortable with a lot of things in the marketplace. I always want to feel safe though, like still. So let me know your thoughts on that down below. Now, continuing here, this theme of autonomous vehicles. I told you it's not stopping. Uber now has 14 or 15 autonomous vehicle partners. And they've just expanded again. So Uber and AV Ride launch robotaxi rides in Dallas. Now, this is fascinating because we can see the equipped vehicle here. Starting today, and this was released 3 days ago, so this just went live. Dallas riders can be matched with an AV Ride robotaxi, unlocking a brand new way to ride with Uber. Now, here we can see the prompt in: request your ride. UberX, Uber Comfort, or Uber Comfort Electric may be matched with an all-electric AV Ride robotaxi at no extra cost. And they highlight similar kind of things here: path to driverless, safety first. Now, this continues our conversation of, when is this coming to my market? Is this coming to my markets? Now, here's more on preferences. Uber customers in Dallas who are excited about riding in a robotaxi can boost their chances of getting matched by opting in to the ride preferences section on their Uber app under settings. So if they really want to try this, if they want to be an early adopter, then yeah, they can opt in even more. Here is the prompting. Now it does say, hey, there's a specialist on board. That's typically how these marketplaces launch. If you're not familiar, they'll have a safety rider or a monitor, in this case, specialist, they call it. You're matched with an autonomous vehicle 2 minutes away. A trained specialist will sit up front and ensure a smooth ride. That's just if they do have to intervene. I mean, it's interesting. This is still a new technology. So if they do need to intervene, then that safety monitor is there. But of course, the goal is to basically be like a Waymo, where Waymos do not have a safety driver. Tesla robo taxis, their Cybercab eventually is not going to have a safety monitor. They've been testing those as well. And actually, speaking of, our last story today, so make sure to drop a like on this video. On your way out, consider subscribing to get all this side hustle and gig economy news, shift ride-alongs, new apps and platforms, etc., right here on the channel. Waymo is coming to 3 new cities, including right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You know, the other day, I told my brother, I said, I just saw a Waymo all the way here in Pittsburgh. I was like, wait a minute, I just saw a Waymo because I just came back from San Francisco, where in San Francisco, Waymos are operating fully autonomous. I don't know how big their geofence is in the Bay Area, but they're operating. Like, oh, that's pretty, and no safety monitor, like really autonomously. And then I saw the Waymo in Pittsburgh. Here's a shot of their vehicles. So you can see here, Waymo partners with Uber to bring robotaxi services to Atlanta and Austin. Now it's coming to Baltimore, St. Louis, and here in Pittsburgh. Now, what's fascinating about this is, well, it says right there that they've partnered with Uber. So might that mean, again, if you're an Uber driver here in Pittsburgh or Baltimore or St. Louis, the same exact thing. This would be something, there's no other way to say it. It's sifting off, it's taking away some rides. Some, like, I get it, you're always adding ridership. Yeah, maybe there's someone who's super excited about the technology. They just signed up for Uber to try this Waymo thing. That's going to be a small percentage. It's sifting off a percent of rides. And think about the Bay Area, where this is almost, I don't know if it's fully scaled, but it's scaled. So if you're an Uber or Lyft driver in the Bay Area, San Francisco, you have these Waymos that are pretty well scaled, taking some of your rides, and they don't even have a driver. Now, I'm not arguing against the technology and the safety of the technology. That when I observed these Waymos in San Francisco, the technology was quite impressive. You know, I'm interested in these AVs, these autonomous vehicles. And I might even feature an AV, a Tesla Cybercab, when and if they become available for retail consumer purchase here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. We'll have to see when and if those vehicles become available. But this is coming to Pittsburgh. It's not like I can just sit here and be like, oh yeah, Bay Area, you guys have it. I don't got to worry about it. Like, it's coming to Pittsburgh. Now, to start, this is going to have the safety drivers. They're going to do manual rides. I already downloaded the Waymo app, at least as of yesterday. It did not say that they were active yet in Pittsburgh. But if I was someone, well, think about your marketplace. If you're a rideshare driver in any of these cities or really in any city, well, what happens when they come? You know, what happens when they come? Yeah, it's going to be monitored at first, but eventually it's probably going to be like the Bay Area. It's going to go fully autonomous. And then, like I mentioned about the Grubhub robots, let's think more longitudinally. Okay, yeah, there's not that many Waymos. Like, come on, man. Even in the Bay Area, there's not many of these. Like, listen, I took an autonomous Volvo back in like 2018. If you didn't know, Uber, yes, Uber had an in-house autonomous vehicle division right across the river in the Strip District. Their autonomous offices were here in Pittsburgh. Now they've since abandoned that and have, partnered with external companies. But I took an autonomous ride back in 2018 or so in a equipped LiDAR sensors, cameras, Volvo XC90. So fast forward to 2025, 2026. Oh yeah, we're getting to the place where we don't even need safety monitors. These things they're actively taking rides. That's what they're doing in the Bay Area. They're actively taking rides, and now it's coming to more cities. So I said, thinking long term, let's tie this back into my point. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, right? So like maybe like you'll be out of the workforce, right? Maybe, right? Depends on your age. You might be thinking like, well, I'm not going to be doing gig work in, 10, 20 years. But I mean, people coming up might, or your kids might, right? Or just the next generation. Like, what does this do for the nature of the gig economy? Because this is not just rideshare. Remember, it's not just rideshare. It's rideshare, AVs, it's delivery. Let's bring it back up again. It's delivery with autonomous robots. I don't know about shopping. I mean, it might, Are we going to have the Tesla Optimus doing Instacart for you? Shopping? Is it going to eliminate that job? The Neo robot, which is available now, very limited thing, and what it can do. But is that what it's going to look like? The gig economy in 20, 30 years? Might it, sure, displace gig work, but reallocate gig work into new opportunities? So maybe it's not as much rideshare driving as it is, I don't know, service maintenance of AVs, customer service specialists, things that still need the human touch, emergency AV vehicle operators and monitors. But I do still see a space for the gig worker. I still see the space for the human driver, the human delivery driver, the human shopper. Why? Because even if this is seamless, even if this works perfectly, even if the dot works perfectly, we're forgetting about that's tech, right? That's tech. But we're people, we're humans, and a lot of us would rather support like people, humans, and be like, I don't care how good the tech is. Think about the Bay Area. Let me leave you with this before we go. Think about the Bay Area, where there's Waymos like this operating, 24/7, I think. Some people are like, yeah, I'm not taking a Waymo, maybe safety concerns. They still don't trust the tech, but they just want to support a human driver. They don't want the full WALL-E experience yet. Like, I'd rather just like chat up a person on my way to the airport, someone that lives in the Bay Area. I can support them and not support Waymo and get them some extra money. I can't tip a Waymo. I know you can't tip the DoorDash Dot. You can't tip it. It's a robot. It'd be literally giving money to DoorDash for free. But like, I'd like to tip a human for good customer service. This is someone who worked in customer service. I've done retail and call centers. I'm very versed in customer service. So let me leave you with that question. We can continue the discussion down below in the comments. I think this is a big discussion. Feel free to comment on any story that you heard today, but the gig economy space and industry, what is it going to look like 10 years? Hey, sure, maybe we'll move fast here, but what do you think 20, 30 years plus, will it even exist? Will it look like something entirely different? Will it be like, oh yeah, I remember we used to have delivery drivers and rideshare drivers? Will it have a coalescence? Will they both work together? Like, yeah, I want to support a human driver. Oh, I like the convenience of robot delivery, right? Or, I mean, the whole other side of the spectrum, will it completely fail? Will society, reject these robots or AV workers, whatever you want to call it, and will it not catch on? Because right now we're kind of piloting it. So what side, like where in the spectrum are you for that future look of the gig economy? I'm really interested. Let me know. But I got plenty of new stuff. There's new stuff from DoorDash that just came across yesterday. So make sure to subscribe. Don't go anywhere. And on your way out, if you haven't signed up for that free newsletter, I'll send you the latest side hustle and gig news every single month.